Okay, welcome back, everybody. Voices Unchained. It's been a minute here since we've had an interview with Dezman.
Yeah,
And how's it going, brother?
man, things are going really good.
Nice.
Yeah, we're down here at Golden Rule, touching some lives and really digging into things.
Digging into things. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's so much to explore in this, isn't there? Like so many layers of it.
yeah. There's definitely a lot of growth in the office and with participants coming in.
Yeah.
I think everybody's starting to get uh, a hang of things. How we're supposed to work as a team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's coming together.
Get a bunch of people in one room together. Everything kind of eventually irons itself out, or it explodes.
Right. Well, you come in and you get me and Jeff at the front right off the bat, and we walk
Yeah.
you through, and then you get Brandy, and then you get Shasta, and then in between there, Abby pops in and shows the love,
Nice.
and it's just a big wraparound service here.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about your role? And are you because I often see you post on Facebook that you're so stoked to come into work, and
Yeah,
is it has it given you a renewed sense of purpose in your life? And
it has.
yeah,
You have to be really careful um, with the different laws, our HIPAA laws and stuff like that. So um, it's um, it's brought me to a spot where I know every day I'm stepping out that door with integrity. When I step back in the door, I have integrity,
yeah,
knowing that I have a bigger purpose in life, and it's not myself. Even though self-care and all that is really important stuff, but what we do here is also just as important.
yeah.
you know
Caring for others.
Caring for
Yeah.
others.
I mean, it's true though with what they say about self care though. Without that piece, you can't really care for others, and so they both seem to go hand in hand.
Right.
With this whole process.
Yeah, we us at Golden Rule, we get pretty creative and stuff. People, we do stuff together, and we do stuff, in our separate lives and stuff. Go out of town and stuff like that. And
Nice.
yeah, I really like doing that.
Yeah. It's
Getting
like
on the
you're
plane and going
bonding.
somewhere.
You're bonding as a group. It's
Yeah,
important, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
It really is. I think the way things are here now, we are family.
You are family,
We
right?
are family. We love on each other. Everybody has their own demons and stuff, but we love each other through it
Yeah,
and stuff. And we have to be here for these individuals that are coming out of
yeah.
lockup like that.
So it's almost like you have a bigger responsibility to be more cohesive and connected as a group or as
Yeah,
a community because you are meeting people coming out looking for help, and so the more bonded and connected and cohesive you guys are,
right.
the better, right?
Yeah, we are pretty amazing. Everybody here plays their position really well, and we just mesh. We're all a little different, but a lot alike.
A little different, a lot alike.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So y'all have this big heart. We sit around in our huddle sometimes, and you hear people saying, "Well, I did this today. I went out and bought coffee for a couple of people that were homeless, or I passed out beanies and gloves, or everybody's just
yeah.
has such a big heart and stuff. This community is really important to us. So we try to give back on an individual basis, even if we're not, working during work hours.
Yeah, it's kind of like a garden in a certain way. You just have to you plant some seeds and you got to take care of it and you got to nurture it and you got to feed it and you got
It,
to watch it. You got to tend to it and then eventually it produces,
yeah.
some
Well, this
fruit.
we've got a lot of different community partners out here. Pathfinders, Recovery Cafe.
Yeah,
Salvation Army. We can just go on and on. Everybody's got the same mission around here and stuff, and I think it's starting to really work.
That's awesome. Yeah, so not just in this one spot here where Golden
Oh,
Rule is at, but it's the whole region, the whole valley.
right.
So many people sending energy into this particular issue and
Yeah.
helping out where they can, right? In different ways. Everybody's got their own little angle,
Yeah.
but
It's a bunch of people with big hearts that have been there,
yeah,
and we show a lot of compassion and want to help.
yeah,
On a scale that's really gonna make an effect on people's lives.
yeah. And just kind of it kind of ties into the theme I was exploring in myself today about if you think back about tribes and communities and cultures of the past, one thing that's commonly happened in many cultures and traditions and groups is this thing called social banishment, right?
Right.
So let's say somebody in the group or somebody in the tribe breaks a law, or let's say somebody in the tribe murders somebody. Let's say somebody in the tribe steals something. There's this tribal mentality that's been in place for eons, where often in the old days it wasn't they were sent to prison, but they were literally kicked out of the family,
Right.
banished to the to just for what they did, and
Yeah.
for some people that could be worse than death,
It is.
you know, and the impact that it has on the person is huge, and I don't know if it works or if it doesn't, but in a way, the modern version of that is prison,
Yeah.
right? So you did something wrong in our community, out, you're done,
Right.
you're an outcast, you're an outlaw, you've been rejected from, we don't want anything to do with you anymore. And
Right.
I just was reflecting on the impact that has on individuals. Is, like I said, it can be worse than death in some situations,
It is,
you
and
know.
and it's what keeps people out there committing crimes and using and stuff because they feel like they've been shunned, and on the upside of that, that's what golden rule brings to the table is we go out and we grab those guys and ladies that have been ostracized and nobody else wants to deal with them, and we bring them here and we show them love and they grow.
Mm. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah, and that growth is so important,
yeah.
but to catch somebody in that place, you know what it's like to. I mean, we've all had rejection, in various ways. People have broken up with partners, families have rejected folks, but on this bigger societal level, like prison is the punishment,
Right.
and just my observations of working with the formerly incarcerated, that's a common theme that I'm noticing is this deep sense of self-hatred, this deep sense of I'm not worthy. There's this
Right.
deep sense of like I don't fit in. There's a deep sense of I've been kicked out of my community, and there's an internalization of that, in terms of what it does to you as an individual. And I think often that just kind of just continues over and over and over again until it's sort of addressed and met. So I wanted to
Right.
bring up this theme just for this
Well,
podcast to see
well,
where we can go with it.
people don't realize a lot of these people, me included, um, the shunning started when we were kids.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Been dealing with a lot of trauma and not feeling like they belong. There was nobody there to, properly look after them,
yeah,
and give them that guidance that somebody else may have gotten.
yeah,
At least one parent that gave a crap enough to make them go to school. You know,
yeah,
I enjoy. I know my son does too. When I take him to school, he lives a block away from his school. He can
yeah,
he can walk. He's 11 years old, and he still wants me there. At 7:15 in the morning and
yeah,
stuff. He doesn't care if I walk him to school or drive him to school. He just wants that time.
yeah, yeah,
So the thing in my field is to not re-traumatize. You know what I'm saying? So we're not causing any trauma, and we're not trying to re-traumatize anybody.
yeah,
But the individuals that are coming out of prison, man, they've been lost for so long. That's all they know. That's where they feel comfortable. And when you come to Golden Rule, we love you through that. And if there is a community partner, somebody we know that can help you out with, counseling or give you more support than we actually have inside our building, we will reach out to them
Yeah,
and do that.
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Just curious though, like in terms of the impact, I just think about my nephew who is an addict on the streets. He's in and out of prison, and um, my family's response to that initially, when he robbed my mother, for example, right,
right,
was boom, you're done, man. You robbed my mother. That's the end of you. So he
right,
he got he got ostracized. He got kicked out, and he never. I don't think he ever really recovered from that. And we're just coming around as a family to realize like that the impact that our rejection and our sort of pushing away had on him, and he never really recovered from it. And when I think back about what we did or what happened, I think what most of the family wanted for him was to just own up to what he did
right.
and to apologize and to take responsibility and to grow up because he was at a place where I mean addiction had him.
Yeah,
He wasn't. I mean, not to say that he wasn't responsible for his actions, but addiction had him, and he just he chose that over and over and over again over his grandma who loved him more than anybody.
right.
So yeah, just kind of
Uh,
exploring that. How has that impacted you, and where did you come with how did you come full circle with that? And
Well, I can kind of see both sides, because even like now, I have to set healthy boundaries for people, and that's the first reaction that when you hurt someone, they want you as far away from them as possible, and I think today with all the education is out there. There is not one family that has not been touched by someone out there using or stealing from them. There's more education these days about having compassion and trauma that and people are actually seeing it and seeing that it's working. With me, I grew up really confused and not knowing what's going on. I didn't have um, that person that was, sitting down with me saying, "Hey, you're screwing up. Hey, I need you to go to school. Hey,
mm,
you know." So it was just I got to a point where I was just in survival mode my whole life, and if somebody didn't care about me, I was still going to, make it.
yeah,
you know um Being in my addiction, that was just something to um that at the time seemed necessary to, just kind of like, screw them.
mm,
They don't, nobody wants me. I don't know where anybody healthy is. I haven't heard a healthy word come out of anybody's mouth in so long. This is what I'm going to do. And the
yeah,
people, all you get a bunch of people like that, they're just breeding together and uh, giving each other kudos for the bad stuff that they're out there doing, the terrible
right,
stuff that they're doing. So it feels right and it feels normal.
right,
It's not until um, I was shown some grace, you know, um, and start giving myself grace and shown some love that I wanted more.
hmm
You know, even now, I still have my own demons. I'm really trying to get this into this new life, and it's scary at times, and I think, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right field?
mm,
Um, am I speaking right? Am I handling the situation right? And then I'll I'll find someone I can trust. Sometimes it might be my coworker Brandy, sometimes it might be my coworker Shasta, sometimes it might be Abby or Andrew, but I seem to get um, what I need to really figure it out on my own and grow from that.
mm,
You
yeah,
know, I learn everything for my coworkers. You know, how to handle tough situations. How I think I'm a better man today because a lot of because of my coworkers and my boss.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, it's just somebody that's lacked the love and the support and been abandoned most of their lives and stuff. When you bring that, when you introduce that back into their lives, you're gonna that person is going to grow. Or if
mm,
not, he's not that person is not ready
mm.
yet, and he's still stuck in that. That means that person needs counseling, you know, and it's going to take a village, you know.
That's it. It's not, yeah, it takes a village with this particular issue. It does for sure.
Well,
That's why
yeah,
we do have all these different organizations, supporting in different ways in their own way. But
yeah.
I'm just curious about the positive intention of that banishment. I mean, often you'll hear prison folks talk about how, it's time for somebody to get locked up and to think about give them enough time and space to think about what they did and come full circle with it. So I guess behind it, there's some sort of positive intention, but does it work is the question. And what's been your experience of it?
I've learned by dealing with again my coworkers and my boss that I believe it's how it's applied. You know,
Yeah.
how you approach the situation with the particular person, and you have to. There's got to be some kind of respect there,
Hmm.
you know, for them to listen. You know, and I mean, my boss and my coworkers, they love me more than I've ever been loved in my freaking life, and it shows
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's like I not only not want to let them down and stuff, but I'm like really happy to freaking come to work.
Mm.
You know, if
Yeah.
like we just had that long weekend and stuff, and I'm just like, man, I'm just missing work.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna show up early. You know, I show up early anyway, but yeah, it just kind of makes you want to be here and in this space and stuff.
Yeah.
Abby and everybody here, we just breed freaking this positive vibe that you
Mm.
know is welcoming. And you just want to eat it up, and in return, I'm able to give that out, you know, to our participants and clients that come through the door.
That's beautiful. Yeah, because you've received it. You've
Yeah.
received it, so you can now give it, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah. And was there any part of your prison sentences that worked in terms of like that intention of having you look at what you did and think about your crime and all that kind of stuff? Or
Well, yeah, I went through the AIP program, and it looks at everything. You know, I think they start off with the trauma. You know, seeing they sit and talk with you a lot and figure out what happened, and then they help you come up with a plan on how to fix it, and then they put all the education in front of you about it and stuff, and then give you the encouragement to move forward.
mm, mm,
You know,
yeah,
so that AIP program was exactly what I and a lot of other people needed.
the AIP program. Yeah, it sounded like it was really useful.
It's amazing. You know, I was
Yeah.
out there in Baker City, and uh, Miss Heather Phillips and Mrs. Claus, I call her Miss Kellogg. You know, their whole team out there. I think I've said it before on one of our first podcasts. They were just
Yeah.
instrumental in my growth. I mean, no judgment. You know, they didn't baby you either. You know, it
Yeah.
was just a right kind of balance and stuff that I needed to get that, and that's why I say, you know, it's about your approach
About your
when
approach. Yeah.
it's come to dealing with somebody that has committed a crime towards you or others, you know, the community.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
And that sense of like being out an outcast, or that sense of being lost, or that sense of being not part of, like, how does that end up coming full circle? um
Well, for me, I was a part of the destruction. And it seems like when I went and dropped off all that baggage and all the trauma and changed my way of thinking and my heart, there was even a bigger world of people, you know, like me that was just freaking it's more amazing than freaking anything.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
the different circles are, yeah, they're different and stuff, but I honestly believe when you come out of that, there is something greater waiting for you.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the sad part too is, often not only like let's say in a tribe, and you do something wrong or you make a mistake. It's not only it might be like the leader of the tribe or whoever is in charge does the final. Maybe in the case of mainstream society, it's the judge or something, but
Mhm.
makes the final cut where they give you the punishment of banishment, right? But what's also painful is that folks in the community also turn their back, like family members and that kind of stuff, where maybe they weren't even directly impacted by what happened, but because of the group norm in any particular situation, they end up just also rejecting the person. So that can
Yeah,
have a double effect,
it's a pack mentality,
pack mentality,
and
right?
people. I wish more people had minds and thoughts of their own, and was brave enough to stand on that. You know, because
Yeah,
if you come at me and say, "Hey, this dude's a real piece of crap," I wouldn't allow him around you. I'm gonna take what you said into consideration, but I'm gonna find out for myself and
yeah,
stuff because even my dad, said, you never know what's going to bring somebody out of their uh, their mind state and stuff. Sometimes it's just a smile or hello and actually mean it and stuff. And that smile or hello can change somebody's whole life.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it all comes down to love.
It all comes down to love, and I saying I love you is a very is beautiful, but showing love is another level of it, isn't it? Because like
Yeah,
you said, like stepping up and showing up for your son to walk him to school every morning. That's showing love,
yeah,
right? That's not just saying it.
right,
It's easy to say it, right?
yeah,
So I really respect that. That
yeah.
it is about love, but it's
And
also about
sometimes I get a little busy, and he'll bark. He's like, "I miss you.
yeah,
Where you at?"
yeah,
It's like, I'm at home or something like that. He's like, "Man, I don't know what this is, bro," and stuff, but
yeah,
I need you and stuff. And of course, I get in the car and I go see him.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. Showing up and
showing up for him.
showing love and being there, for that part of all of us that's been rejected or pushed away or
Yeah,
banished. The word banished is a tough word, isn't it? Just to hear it.
it is,
Yeah,
and uh, I know when that happens and stuff, you're just out there. You don't care, and if people thinking that banishing somebody is going to make them care, it's going to make them so numb that they're just like they're not even there. You
right.
know what I'm saying? They're not aware anymore of the damage that they're causing or the pain that mother that's banished her son, and she's sitting in her house, what I'm saying, crying and upset and hoping that things would change and stuff. But she became a part of that trauma for him.
She became a part of that trauma just by
Yeah,
that act. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
She doesn't have to let him in her house, but pick up that phone,
Pick up that phone,
you
right?
know, reach out to him, say,
Yeah,
hey, how
right,
you doing? Are you even still alive?
right.
Or just simple word, hi,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. And also, like, there's time that passes too. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe, she's upset and mad for the first 6 months, but like, come on, there's a certain period of time where you just gotta at least get over it or forgive and move on. Because it can linger. I guess depending on the circumstance and the crime and what happened and the impact that it had. It's to each their own. But there is a point I feel like where we do need to acknowledge that some time has passed, and it's time. I mean, how long do you how you know does the punishment fit the crime, right? I mean, do you banish somebody for the rest of their life, for stealing $50 out of your mother's purse
Right,
one time, when he was 19, and now the kid is 40. You know what I mean? So
right.
there's that.
Well, I think it's kind of funny because you banish somebody and stuff, and you're thinking you're hurting them, but you're really hurting yourself too.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
it's it's a double trauma that keeps on going on. That's why I don't believe in, letting it go months without, at least speaking,
Yeah.
saying hi, how you doing, you
Yeah.
don't have to necessarily work it out, but leave that door open just a little bit.
Yeah.
You never know, somebody might walk back through that door and surprise the hell out of you.
You might, and when time, who knows what's happened in over time as well. It's like
Yeah,
that person has changed. Lots has happened in between. I
yeah,
mean, you lock yourself in the past in a certain way when you banish somebody, right?
right,
You lock yourself in that moment. But how long are you going to keep that door locked, before you actually open your heart and let that person back in?
right.
And
Well,
and it's easy to say from just from an outside perspective, but like if you bring in a serious crime like a rape or a murder or something like that, we're talking about
it's a
other levels of it, too.
that is a lot more difficult.
Right,
And they also say, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you.
right,
When you forgive someone, I don't want anybody to sit in a state of depression because of something that was done to them, and or blame themselves for it. But they have to figure out a way to get past it and
yeah.
find their smile again,
Find your smile again, yeah.
because if not, if that person was really truly intentionally trying to hurt you and just like some god awful human being, you're still letting him win.
Yeah,
That's exactly what he wanted and stuff. And we don't have time for that.
right,
Life
yeah.
is too short.
Life is too short.
And
Life is too short, man. Come on, look at it. It's flying by, right?
man, I'm
Yeah,
48 years old, and I'm
yeah.
like, damn, I remember when I was 21 out here,
I
and
know it's
what
getting.
I was doing and
Mm,
stuff. It's like, damn, where the time's gone,
yeah.
you know?
Somebody recently told me, just like, imagine the person you're talking to. Imagine that they're not going to make it to the end of the day, right?
Right,
Let's say this is it. Tonight we're done.
right.
How would that change the quality of your attention on that person? Would you listen to them a little more? Would you care about them a little more? And I think the answer is yeah. When we keep that in mind, that we have a very short amount of time on this earth, and
Yeah,
like it could happen tonight. You never know. We don't know.
yeah. My boss, she has this like amazing heart, and she has taught me that, you know, there's people out there that's done some really awful stuff, but they're still people,
Yeah,
and that's that golden rule. We try not to turn anybody away,
yeah.
and if we can be that smile or that hug to get them to really look at themselves and start to come back, we're doing our community a service,
You are doing your community a service.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's right.
and
Yeah,
it makes us feel good as well,
it
seeing
makes
people grow.
yeah, it
You
does.
know,
It's a win-win on both sides, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I
that's
guess
what life is supposed to be about, right? Is win-win.
win-win on both sides. You gotta have a come giving and receiving, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so just a message for anyone who is in that place right now where maybe they have banished somebody from their lives, whether it's for a big thing or for a little thing. What would you say to them right now? I mean, what's a good sort of holiday message for that? Because this is, I think, during the holidays, especially for some reason, we're not all connected to what's happening around the holidays, but it's a tough time for a lot of people, and I think a lot of folks who have been rejected or banished or cast out of their families can often it often comes back up during these times, So
um I would say, if it could be the most horrible crime ever, somebody has committed towards you, you don't necessarily need to talk to that person directly.
yeah,
Write a letter about it and stuff, and find some kind of peace, and if it's something that you feel like you can do, reach out and stuff. Give yourself some grace, because whatever that person did to you is not your fault. You didn't ask for it, you didn't deserve it, but also you didn't deserve to get your spirit snatched from you either.
mm,
So, and you cannot let somebody continue to take that. So, give yourself some grace. Give the other person, send them out a good vibe.
mm,
Just put it in an environment. Saying
yeah,
I forgive you.
yeah,
I'm not going to hold on to this anymore.
Yeah.
Give yourself that gift of peace. You know,
Beautiful.
it's a perfect season for it.
Absolutely. And then on the other side, for the person who has been banished, what
Uh,
what's a good message for that person at this point? Just given that
Pretty much
the self
the
hatred and the guilt and the shame and all the negative emotions that come with that. It's painful. I mean, you have to admit, in some cases, it's true. I mean, there's been studies showing that banishment and social, like casting somebody out of a tribe, can sometimes be worse than death. It's because we're
right,
so, as human beings, we're so limbically bonded
right,
with each other, and so when that gets cut, especially when it's a community or a family that you've been close with, it hurts.
yeah. I would say to that person, um, give yourself some grace. You know, find a way to forgive yourself and find some sort of peace. And this holiday season, love yourself, and it will be noticed. You know, you never know what could come out of you finding a certain kind of peace and changing your ways. You can be a complete dirtbag. Lay down on this floor right now for 2 seconds and wake up and decide to do something else and actually make a freaking difference in somebody's life. It's just that quick,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So love yourself, everybody out there.
yeah.
Love yourself. Give yourself some grace. Um, Talk to somebody. Reach out if you're having troubles mentally. You know, I know that's really hard for a lot of people, but reach out to somebody. Even if you post it on Facebook, somebody is going to reach back.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah,
don't be silent. You know, let them hear your voice.
beautiful. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, sweet. There it is.
All right,
Another round.
another round. Let's
Till
keep
next
it
time, keep it up. Thanks, brother.
up.
Good practice.